Mad cow disease is a type of prion disease found exclusively in cows. Mad cow disease, also known as bovine spongiform encephalopathy, is a prion disease. A prion disease transfers prions, which misfold proteins and render certain parts of our body unable to function properly. They are usually extremely rare and slowly degenerate the patient's nervous system. There are currently no cures for all the prion diseases, so after a while anyone who is affected will die. In this video, we will be talking about 3 of these deadly diseases: BSE, VCJD, and Kuru. VCJD is a human form of BSE, while Kuru is another prion disease that affects humans as well.
Before we talk about BSE, there's very important confirmation to make. BSE, also more colloquially known as mad cow disease, does not affect humans. It will only affect cows. However, a version of mad cow disease, known as the human mad cow disease, does. This disease, known as variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, or VCJD, can only harm humans, not cows. Therefore, as we do not want to talk about a cow disease for the majority of our project, we will refer to human mad cow disease as VCJD unless otherwise specified. In 1986, a few scientists found some cattle in Britain that began to suffer from a condition similar to the sheep with scrapie a while ago in Britain. Though the cause is unknown, similar symptoms led the scientists to diagnose the cows with BSE. After 10 years, in 1996, a few people in Britain were found with similar symptoms compared to the cows with mad cow disease. These people were soon diagnosed with VCJD and found to have been exposed to the cattle that had BSE. By the 21st century, scientists confirmed that BSE does not affect humans in any way. However, VCJD, found it to be the human version of BSE, had detrimental effects on those that weren't infected. When a person first contracts mad cow disease, they will have slight neurological problems that are barely noticeable after an average incubation period of 30 days. After a few months, patients will have a much larger scale of problems, such as hallucinations, amnesia, and disorientation. Next, pains and unusual sensations arise in the face, followed by having a difficult time performing simple daily tasks. Things such as brushing your teeth and showering might take over twice as long. These symptoms take about 6 more months to develop. After this period, most people have dementia and die after about 1 year, although the world record for surviving was held by Holly Mills, who battled VCJD for about 8 years. It is very hard to contract VCJD, but only about 1 out of 1 million people will get it around the world per year. To catch this deadly disease, you must eat cow, so if you are vegetarian, you do not have to worry unless you physically touch a cow's brain, intestine, or spinal cord. Once digesting cow brains, intestines, or spinal cords, the person still has a very small chance of contracting VCJD. There is a slight chance that the cow has mad cow disease because it would have most likely either been killed by prions or slaughtered and disposed of by workers because of its BSE symptoms. There is an even smaller chance that the already mutated prions in the organs will latch onto your body and become VCJD to have any effect on you. So far, there has been no evidence that eating any other part of the cow, such as the muscle tissue, can give you VCJD.
Overall, it is a very small chance, but to make sure you don't contract this disease, try to abstain from eating cows' nervous system parts. Simply to say, hospitals aren't doing very well. When a person shows symptoms of VCJD, they are immediately sent to the hospital. Once the hospital receives this person, they put him or her on medicine that will slow the progression of the disease, but cannot stop it altogether. As there is no cure for prion diseases because it misfolds proteins at a molecular level, patients are basically waiting on a death sentence in a hospital bed. Generally, the media is quick to react to any outbreak. In the Canadian breakout in 2003, the news channel in the following day sent warnings to abstain from cow meat and to thoroughly wash and clean up cow parts. Overall, the media and newspaper make a very big fuss about the potential dangers of cows, which is then followed by an approximate 4 weeks of panic among the citizens who have recently ate any form of cow meat. Eventually, the panic dies down, and everyone returns to eat cow meat until one unlucky person contracts VCJD, and the cycle of fear begins again. In 2012, when mad cow was first detected in the US, the world had a slow and small response. Other countries, such as Japan and Canada, kept imports coming, while others like Korea stopped imports immediately to reduce further exposure. Scientists never had a solid proof that VCJD evolved from BSE, but they have a good theory that explains why. They compared the symptoms of the cows who had BSE and the humans who had VCJD. They found similar parts of the brain, spine, and nerves damaged, and therefore concluded that the two diseases are related. The only way one can get VCJD is through consumption of specific cattle parts. Because BSE only affects the cattle's nervous system, their brains, spines, and other parts linked with their nervous systems have been banned from supermarkets. In the UK, there were also 4 cases of blood transfusion from people that had VCJD, which caused another person to contract this disease. This is very rare, however, and often disregarded as part of how the disease spreads. The first person in the US to die because of VCJD was Charlene Singh in mid-2004. There are actually 4 types of CJD in total, of which only one, VCJD, has any affiliation with BSE. By 2010, there has been a cumulative 184,500 cows that were affected by BSE. This number is increasing exponentially less every 5 years. For example, in 2000 it was 1443 new cases, and in 2005 it was only 225 cases.
Kuru. Kuru is the third prion disease we will be discussing. Like other diseases, Kuru affects the nervous system and the brain, and similar to VCJD, the disease affects humans. Kuru attacks the cerebellum, which is responsible for coordination. Affected people will eventually experience tremors, slurred speech, and leg and arm pain, which can worsen over the course of 6 months. People will also get a loss of mental ability due to brain and nervous system degeneration. In the 1950s, 4 people from New Guinea engaged in a practice in which they ate their dead relatives as a funeral ritual. Mostly women participated in cannibalistic practices. Eventually, people began to notice that the 4 people started to get a prion disease, Kuru. In the 1960s, New Guinea passed a law prohibiting the cannibalism among the 4 people. Since then, Kuru cases and related deaths have declined dramatically. In 1957 to 1976, there were approximately 2,500 cases, and in the past 10 years, the number has dropped to 2 cases.
The most recent death from Kuru occurred in 2005. Since death is expected to happen in less than a year after symptoms show, people that have died recently must show symptoms of Kuru long after the ban of cannibalism. This shows the incubation period can be possibly 50 years, but the average incubation period of Kuru is 10 to 13 years. The only major outbreak of this disease occurred in New Guinea with the 4 people, so this is the first case of Kuru as well. There is no known patient 0, but the index case most likely occurred in New Guinea. Due to its possibly long incubation period, the amount of people affected with Kuru cannot be certain. Kuru is diagnosed with neurological exams or electrodiagnostic tests such as MRI scans. Unfortunately, the long incubation period can also make diagnosis difficult, and like other prion diseases, there is no treatment. Current research focuses on prions because prions cause the disease described in this video. The misfolded proteins result in the development of holes and lumps in the brain. Back in 1957 to 1976, the mortality rate was at 36% because not everyone passed away shortly after being diagnosed with the disease. The disease has a relatively low spread. United States has remained a mortality rate of 0%. After the case in New Guinea, people concluded that the causes of the disease are cannibalism, particularly the consumption of infected brain and contact with open wounds. When the public discovered that Kuru is contracted as a result of cannibalism, the media and New Guinean government discouraged and denounced practices of cannibalism. This will conclude our presentation with the 3 prion diseases. If you did not enjoy, you may be feeling slightly moody and might have contracted the disease. Please contact 1-800-247-CARE for a free diagnosis today.
Encephalopathy.
This is Kevin. Kevin has just eaten the best cow of his life. He also doesn't seem to change his clothes very often.
Okay, why didn't you eat?
I wasn't hungry.
What'd you eat?
Earlier, back in the woods, I ate a cow.
Whole cow?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, kids these days. Dad, I swear, I'm really not that hungry. Wait, so you ate the hooves, the brain, the spinal cord, and the intestines?
Yes. Alright, just stop talking about it. They're better than your noodles.
My noodles?
That cow. It was so good. Especially the brain.
It's probably my soy sauce. Why do you even eat a cow?
Oh man, that was tiring. I think I'm gonna go in. Dad? Hey, Dad. Oh. Hey, Dad. Whoa. Hey, Dad. May I go see the doctors sometime?
Sure. You wanna go now?
Sure.
Okay. I'll drive you.
So, Kevin, I need to ask you some questions. Have you experienced twitching in the past year or so?
Yeah, actually.
Have you experienced hallucinations in the past 6 months?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay. I see your hands are trembling. Do you have any face pains or sensations, some hard time doing daily tasks?
Yeah. It especially happens when I'm brushing my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It takes longer now.
So, do you have any dementia or memory loss?
I don't think so.
Okay, I know this is gonna sound like a weird question, but have you eaten a whole cow in the last year or so?
A cow? Oh, no, I don't. Definitely don't remember that.
Kevin, that is very odd indeed. Alan, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, actually. He had a cow last year.
Oh, really?
A whole
Whoa.
cow.
A whole cow?
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin, I'm sad to say this, but I think you might have a case of VCJD.
I'm a what?
Encephalopathy.